Hello everyone, this is Wyvern Element, and welcome back to the Calamity Fisherman Challenge. Since I defeated Providence, I can now get Eulabloom ore from Bramble Crates, which I use to make the best wings in this challenge, the Tarragon Wings. I carve out a space in the dungeon, as 2 of the upcoming bosses will be fought there. With these preparations, I'm ready to take on the Sentinels of the Devourer. The first Sentinel is Stormweaver, a worm boss summoned in space. In Phase 1, Stormweaver follows you slowly, but only his tail can be damaged. In Phase 2, he charges at you and shoots lightning, and occasionally drops waves of ice from the sky. I use Tarragon throwing darts for this fight as they deal high damage and can pierce multiple segments. Next, we have Ceaseless Void. Ceaseless Void is summoned in the dungeon and alternates between summoning arms of dark energy that orbit the boss in a tight pattern, which you have to kill to progress, and attempting to suck you into itself while shooting lasers and pulling projectiles inward. Finally, we have Cygnus, Envoy of the Devourer. Cygnus is summoned in the underworld and slowly follows the player, occasionally charging or summoning various projectiles that home in on the player. I use the Nettlevine Greatbow for this fight as it deals significant single target damage. With no upgrades to acquire after defeating the Sentinels and my arena already built, I jumped straight into fighting Polterghast. Defeating Polterghast means I can now get Polterplasm from Stockade crates. If I combine this with Blood Orbs from Blood Moon fishing and Bloodstone from Brimstone crates, I can now craft Bloodstone cores, which make a new set of weapons focused on lifesteal, which will be very helpful as I have very low defense. I craft every weapon in the set, which I will need to take on the Old Duke. Yeah, Old Duke is going to be a very, very difficult boss to beat. For starters, he hits incredibly hard, dealing upwards of 300 damage per hit on Revengeance difficulty, and with my low defense, I can't survive more than 2 or 3 hits. The next problem is that it is extremely difficult to kill the Old Duke, as he has almost 1,000,000 health. Additionally, his fight mechanics also make him much harder to kill. His attack cycle consists of a pattern in which he will perform 10 attacks, then enter an exhaustion phase. During the exhaustion phase, he has no damage reduction or defense and sits still, encouraging the player to melt him during these phases. Unfortunately, with my low damage and limited weapon choices, I am unable to do so. Finally, the biggest problem of all. In later phases of the fight, Old Duke adjusts his dashes based on the player's movement. Predictive dashes. I am notoriously bad at dodging predictive dashes. They are the single hardest type of attack for me to dodge in the entire game, and since I can only take at most 2 hits before dying, it's a big problem if I can't dodge consistently. Over several attempts, I start developing a strategy to defeat the Old Duke. I start using different weapons during different parts of the fight. The Cleric Cannon deals damage at a long range, so I use it when he is off-screen. The Blood Boiler gives rapid lifesteal and high damage at a closer range. The Arterial Assault deals the most damage during exhaustion phases. Finally, the Sanguine Flare is useful for a quick burst of healing if I'm on low health. I use the strategy of weapon swapping for a while, but I realize I will have to change something after a devastating death 6 minutes into the fight. I thought for a while, wondering if there was any weapon I could get that would deal the required amounts of damage. Suddenly, I remembered. Great Sword of Judgment threads large with stationary targets. The Great Sword of Judgment is exactly what I need. With this, I can deal tons of damage during exhaustion phases. With this, I can take down the Old Duke. At last, I've defeated the Old Duke. Since he is summoned by fishing, I can use the equipment he drops, which is the final equipment upgrade. I defeat him multiple times so that I can get all the weapons he drops. Thank you guys so much for watching, stay tuned for more, and this is Wyvern Element, signing out. See ya!